Peace and blessings to you all, and welcome back to yet another video. For those of you who are new here, my name is Nicole, and I generally come on here once a week to share messages of guidance, messages of intuition, messages to provide you with new insight, to help you better comprehend your journey of awakening, and just provide any messages that the cards have felt called to share with you all. So just a reminder that these videos are timeless, and so whenever you stumble across this video, it will be relevant for you, as I do encode these videos, ensuring that they reach those who are on the vibrational frequency of the awakening journey and who are ready to receive these messages, who are ready to elevate within their consciousness, and who are just needing messages to perhaps help them better understand what is going on. And in a sense, these are energy readings, as I am a psychic and work a lot with intuition and receive a lot of guided messages. So at the time of making this video, we recently had the full blood moon that was in Virgo. So this was actually the first eclipse of the year, and very, very potent energies have definitely been present. I have felt that this full moon has brought about a massive shift within my frequency, as full moons really do work to bring to the surface whatever it is that we have been unaware of. So when the full moon is in its full stage, what happens is the energy of the moon really helps us to see with more clarity parts of ourselves that we had not been able to see. So whether these were shadow aspects, part of ourselves that we didn't know we were operating from. And so the full moon is really a great time to identify what you are ready to let go of, as we now start moving towards the new moon that will take place in 2 weeks. And a good time for you to start setting intentions of any new projects, any new beginnings that are happening in your life. So yes, the world continues to be a very crazy place, a lot of chaos ongoing. It is hard to really keep track of everything that is happening in the world, because there is just so much happening on every single level. And it's funny because it seems that this is really a global phenomenon, and we really are seeing the great awakening that is happening all around the world. And I have to admit that, I always am able to feel the very heavy and dense energies, because one of my gifts is being able to transmute very heavy energies within myself and other people. But I'm also just very sensitive to energies and can sense that there is a lot of craziness going on in the world. And again, it's easy to get bogged down by all this craziness, and it's easy to get overwhelmed and to start feeling like everything is going wrong. And, I have to admit that I am one of those people. There are moments where I'm just kind of like, oh, is it ever going to get any better? But I'm happy to report that it is going to get better. But the only way that things really can get better is if more and more of us individuals continue to awaken to our power, awaken to the remembrance that we are soul beings having a physical human experience, and that we are divine sovereign beings, and that we did not come here to be slaves. But again, I will highlight in my intuitively the downloads that I receive, the information that I receive from the Most High and the spirits that I commune with, is that all of this darkness that is happening at this time needs to happen. People need to see the reality of the world that we are living in. And it's unfortunate that so many people within humanity remain complacent. And it's just funny that unless something really horrific is happening to someone personally, they just don't really seem to care. Now, I'll be honest, there is so many things going on, and we are living through the times of revelations, in that a lot of the truths that have been suppressed from humanity are now starting to come to the surface. And it is time that we start to remember deep within us, because we all know the truth deep inside of us. The truth lies within our DNA, it lies within our cells. But it's just that we have forgotten, because we have been programmed to forget. We have essentially been running these programs that continue to make us believe that we are small, that we are useless, that we are not very smart, or that we are not very advanced in terms of who we are, but human beings are extremely advanced. It's just that we are operating from such a small percentage of our consciousness. It's like, we are all operating like 2-year-olds when really we're all much older, because it's like, think about when we're educating a child. Children are actually very, very smart. It's just that we don't really give them this credit, because again, the information out there will have you think that children are stupid, but children have just come in from the spiritual realm. And so they understand things on a much higher frequency. They understand things within the energetics of things. But if we can, it's like, for example, there's been research to show that when we speak to children in a baby voice, they remain more baby-like for longer. Whereas when you just talk to a child normally the way you would an adult, then this child actually develops a lot faster. So a lot of the information that we are operating on is false information. A lot of the information about how we should be operating has been hidden from us. So the best way that I can explain this is, for example, let's say you buy a new machine and you're not really sure how the machine works. And so within the box of this machine that you've bought, there is a whole leaflet that gives you all the information as to how the machine works. But what if you were given, when you were unpacking that machine, what if you were given the leaflet that explains how this machine is supposed to work is for a totally different machine? So you're here trying to operate a machine when you don't have the information, you don't have the correct information as to how the machine is going to work. So maybe you figure out a little bit as to how the machine works, but you're not going to be able to tap into the full ability of the machine, because the information that is being given to you on this leaflet that's in the box is incorrect. And so that is the best way to explain what is happening to humanity at this time, is that we have been misinformed, we have been miseducated, we have been given all the wrong information, so that we are not working at full capacity. We are operating out of false information. So, what is it that the cards have to say this week? What information is it that you need to hear this week to help you continue moving forward? Because I just have to commend you, the listener who are listening to this message at this time, because there are not many who are on this journey of awakening. Because the journey of awakening is, yes, it's beautiful and it's powerful, and it is about reclaiming your sovereignty, and it is about becoming free and liberating yourself from all the false truths and the false gods that have been ruling you. But few people actually stay on this journey because it is so intense. It is so difficult, and it's true, because what is it that they say, that denial is bliss, or something along those lines? Because it's true. Once you start to see, you can't unsee, and you can't go backwards once you have awakened. And once you have awakened and you can see through the veil of illusion, it becomes very difficult to unsee, and it becomes very difficult to continue being a part of this reality that is not really serving us, because most people are stuck in denial. Most people don't want to see what is really happening in the world around them, because it is scary. It is uncomfortable. And when we start waking up to the powers and all the things that are happening around us and the truths of this world that we live in, it forces us to look at ourselves. It forces us to stop and question, do I want to be part of creating this negative reality that we are living in? Or do we want to be part of those who are creating the new reality, a reality that serves the majority of us? Because I think by now it's safe to say, and that many of us are really beginning to realize, that the world is controlled by a very small number of people, and the way the world is set up, the system of the world in which we live, serves to benefit a very small number of people. And this is why for years people have fought against the system, and people have tried to liberate. And this is what all the great ascended masters came to do, from Jesus Christ to the Buddha to whatever other ascended masters walked the earth, and there are many, but they all came here to awaken us, to help us remember that this is not the way things are supposed to be. We have been tricked into living in a false reality that does not serve us. Because how is it that we can be inhabitants of this planet, and yet we're basically forced to pay taxes just to live on this planet? I mean, we didn't choose to come here, but on some level we did choose to come here. And so how can we be taxed just for breathing the air and for eating the food that is grown naturally, that the earth provides for us without us even having to do much? But again, all these false realities, all these false narratives that have been interwoven into our consciousness are keeping us small. They are keeping us trapped in a prison that is not created by bars and walls, but that is created by our own mental constructs, in which we are our own wardens within these prisons. We are the ones keeping ourselves enslaved, so long as we continue to believe these false narratives and this false information that is being shared with us. And so people keep looking for a savior, but I'm sorry to break it to you, my dear beloved soul, that you are your own savior. Only you have the ability to take yourself out of this prison that you have created for yourself. And not to say that it is your fault, because there is so much external things coming in that is helping us to create these mental prisons in which we live. But you have the ability to change that. And the information is available more than ever before. So if you are still stuck in these loops, if you are still stuck in these lower vibrational cycles, if you are still not where it is that you want to be in your life, then I'm sorry to say that the only person holding you back from that is yourself. And I say this with love and compassion. And I know a lot of people get triggered by the words I say, but that is what I am here for. I am here to trigger people to look at the parts of themselves that are so uncomfortable. But I say this with all the love and compassion I have in my heart, because sometimes we need to experience difficult challenges in order to see the things that we are unwilling to see. And this is my own personal experience. This is how the awakening journey goes. So when we see all this mass chaos that is happening at this time, it is happening in order for us to awaken. It is challenging us, because as I say in all of my previous videos, that a lot of us are stuck in our comfort zone. And our comfort zone is just that. It's comfortable and it's warm and it's safe and it's cozy and it's what we know. But sometimes, in order for you to move out of your comfort zone, someone is going to have to, you can be told you need to move, you need to move, you need to move. And you can say, no, I don't want to move. And so what the earth will do is that the earth will create a massive earthquake, so that because you're not wanting to leave your home, it will make your home crumble to the ground so that you are forced to leave. But you see, the thing is, when change comes not by our own creation, when we are forced into change, it is always more uncomfortable than when we are the ones who initiate the change. So if you want to make this journey easier on yourself, if you want to make this journey more manageable for yourself, then the one thing that you can do is be the one to initiate the change for yourself, as opposed to sitting comfortably and refusing to budge because you are so comfortable, because everything is just easy where you are. So it's time to get uncomfortable, because we are living in a world where the majority of the population want to put the blame on everybody else, but we are also to blame because we allow these things to happen. We sit by and we watch these things happening and we think, oh, well, because these things are not happening to me, then it's not really my problem. But that is a problem, because it might not be happening to you now, but if we continue to let these things unfold and sit back thinking, oh, this will never happen to me, well, that's the biggest problem of all. Because if, just as we have been seeing free will being taken away from people for hundreds and hundreds of years, and it's crazy because if we look back just 2 decades ago, the world was very different. If we look back 3 generations, 4 generations, people say that we are moving towards advancement, that we are developing, but the development that we seem to be following does not seem to be beneficial for the majority of human beings that are living on this planet, nor is it beneficial for the plant world, nor is it beneficial for the animals, because this world seems to be getting worse and worse and worse, and the only people who can stop it is every single one of us human beings that are living on this planet. So I guess a bit of context before we read the cards. So let's see what the cards have to say. So the first card we have here is Halls of Learning, Spirit Guides, Confirmation, Great Lessons. Yes, as I pulled from the gateway of light activation, asking what has been activated for the collective with this full blood moon that took place, I think it was just 3 days ago. And so what is being activated within you with these energies of this full moon is the activation of the halls of learning. You are being activated to new information. Your spirit guides are connecting with you. You are receiving confirmations. You are receiving great lessons. Yes. And remember what is happening. As human beings, we are simply a microcosm of the macrocosm, because the universe exists within, and I'm sure you've all heard of the Hermetic principle, as above, so below, as within, so without. And so really the human being is a miniature version of the cosmic universe, and so everything that is happening within us is also being reflected in our external world. And so yes, there are many people who are being activated at this time, people who have not wanted to awaken, people who have not wanted to remember, people who have wanted to remain complacent and small and continue to bow down and be followers and do things that don't really serve them, but perhaps out of fear or out of really mostly fear, let's be honest, as people are not wanting to move out of their comfort zone, but it is time. And so everything that is happening at this moment, no matter how uncomfortable it is actually working for our highest and greatest good. We are being asked, well, we're not being asked, we were given an opportunity to remember, and many of us were not prepared to take it, so now we are being forced. And you know, it is easier when you initiate your awakening as opposed to when it is forced upon you. And so at this time, we really are being pushed into great lessons. Everything that is happening on the global scene is happening to help us realize that the world that we have been living in is not the world that we are meant to live in. And so we are at the precipice of a massive change where we are being given the opportunity to change the world in which we live, because we have been taught and educated to believe that everything is happening randomly, but there is nothing random to this world. We are the divine creators. We are the architects of our reality. It's just that most of us are doing it so unconsciously that it is easier to blame everybody else, blame the government, blame the corporations, blame the family, blame the friends, blame this random person that we met on the street the other day, blame everybody else. And the thing is that when we blame everybody else, what we're doing is that we're projecting everything externally. We're not wanting to look at ourselves, and we're not wanting to see that we are also partially responsible for whatever it is that we are experiencing. And so all the hardships, all the difficulties that are taking place in your life are serving as a great lesson. These are messages coming from your spirit guides. And a lot of the time, these messages you already know, because we have this information deep within us. It's just that a lot of the time it's uncomfortable, so we don't necessarily want to look at it. An interesting, great way to transition to the next card, which is I. You are seen, you are cherished, you are held, you are loved. Yes. You know, many people out there, you know, people talk about the evil eye. But again, so many things that have been demonized, and things have been demonized because a lot of information is in those places. You know, what they do, the powers that be, the powers that are falling, what they do is that they hide information and they make certain things look scary so that we don't look there, because that is where true information lies. That is where truth lies. And so the eye really represents the first eye, the spiritual eye, because remember, we are soul beings having a physical human experience. And what governs your physical vessel is your metaphysical self, is your spiritual self. And so once you start to realize that, once you look through your first eye, once you start looking through your spiritual eye, your physical eyes will start to see the world in such a different light. And so we are being given the opportunity to change our ways. We are being given the opportunity to see that everything that is happening now is to remind us that we are seen, we are cherished, we are held, we are loved by the Most High. And because many have prayed, many have asked for assistance and guidance, many have wanted to get out of this horrible world in which we have been living for thousands of years. And so the Most High is responding. But the Most High is not responding in ways that we thought light would come. For light to come, the darkness needs to be burnt away. And so we have to see, in order for the illusion to be broken, we have to be able to see it. Just like as we are seeing so much nonsense happening, well, so much information coming out of Hollywood. You know, for me, I've never understood how people can worship musicians and actors. They're just people. I don't know what's so great about them, but people will worship them and think that they're all wonderful and high and mighty. But now we're seeing what kind of people they really are. And so it is time that we see the truth for ourselves. And many of us have not wanted to see. Many of us have been blinded by magic and illusion and all kinds of lies that have been spoken to us over and over again, so that we start to believe a false narrative. But it is time that we see. The next card we have is Ankh, the breath of life. Connect to your breath. Your breath is your heartbeat. Yes, the Ankh. The Ankh, which was the cross of ancient times. I mean, I even have a tattoo of it. It represents, you know, when we look at the cross in Christianity, it's very masculine. This is why when we look at religion today, it's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and, you know, they're all masculine. You know, we live in such a patriarchal world, and this is why everything in the world is going wrong, because in the divine order of things, the woman was there to lead, but the woman was taken out of her role, and everything in the world has been built on giving all the power to the patriarchy. And this is the problem, because the woman has been taken out. And so this is why when we look at the Ankh, for example, it also represents the womb, because the circular represents the feminine. Linear is masculine, circular is feminine. And so in the Ankh, which was very much prevalent in ancient times, was a representation of the combination of masculine and feminine. But right now what we're happening, and I'm not talking about gender, I'm talking about energy here. And so when there was an understanding of the need for both the masculine and feminine, and one was not preferred over the other, things were more harmonious. There was more peace. People were more advanced. There was more joy. There was more love. There was more advancements in all kinds of things. But now, because of the separation of wanting to keep everything in the masculine, the world is no longer in harmony. And so what is happening now, it's like, for example, when people burn the land before they start a new planting season, it's because the burning actually improves the fertility of the soil. And so what is happening at this time is that the old structures must be burnt down to the ground so something new can be put in its place. It's like sometimes when you have a horrible old house that's falling apart, it's actually cheaper to totally knock that house down and build afresh than trying to fix what is previously there. So that is what is happening. But really here, when we talk of the breath is life. Most people, we don't know how to breathe. So next time you're feeling overwhelmed, next time you're feeling like everything is chaotic, next time you're feeling just busy, too much going on, stop. Breathe in deeply, breathe out even longer, and help your nervous system begin to just calm down. Help your nervous system begin to move out of fight or flight into rest and relaxation, so that you can start to see the world not through the veil of fight or flight and terror and panic and fear, but you're now starting to look at the world through a more calm point of view, a more calm aspect of being. So the next card we have here is Chaos, the unpredictable order, something greater emerging, stepping out of victimhood. And this is really just perfectly reiterating the messages that I have just shared since starting this reading. Look at all that chaos. This is what is happening at this time. We are surrounded. Everything is being, whatever this means, but everything is being stirred. Everything that people have accepted as being acceptable, that was really not acceptable, because so many things have been normalized which are really not at all normal. And it is time that we start to see everything is having to be activated so that we can see that these things have not been normal. It is time to awaken to the illusion that has been placed over all of our eyes, so that we can move into a new reality, so that we can create a new reality. So the next card we have is plant medicine. Be conscious of your nutrition. Alternative treatment. Connect with nature. Yes, people don't realize that the most healing place to be is nature. So in these times of great chaos, in these times of many changes, in these times of being forcefully awakened to all these things that are happening within as well as without, the best place for you to be is in nature. Nature, green, is actually the color of the heart chakra. And so the more we spend time in greenery, we don't realize just how much this soothes. I remember when my father passed away and I was battling with serious depression and serious grief, I had to step away, and I went and spent 2 months working in the middle of nowhere in some village near the coast. And I lived in a tent, and I used to be such a bougie, luxury person, and going and living a super simple life for 2 months totally changed my perspective. It was the most healing experience that I have ever had. And so people downplay these things. People think that, we've been made to think that these things are not important, but that is the problem. Everything we think is important is actually unimportant, and everything that we think is unimportant is actually important, because everything in this world has been inverted. And so you are being given an opportunity to come back to a space of peace, a space of love. And in order for you to do that for yourself, you need to nurture yourself. And so surrounding yourself by nature, which is the most natural state of being that you can be in, is going to help you come back to wholeness. It's going to help you, being in the city, being in chaos, being in overstimulation all the time, it starts to affect our ability to see with clarity. It starts to affect our ability to see what is really happening in the world. We become confused. And so also, be conscious of your nutrition. Yes, stay away from processed foods, because most people don't realize that there's a lot of chemicals within processed foods that are carcinogens, and that these are actually the things that are making people sick. Because when we look back through our history, when we look at how people were eating a lot more natural, whole foods, there was a lot less disease. A lot of these diseases that we are experiencing today are man-made as a result of all the bullshit that we are being sold. And so it is really time to change the way we live. All of these old structures are beginning to fall so that we can move back towards a more natural style of living. So the next card we have is Castle in the Sky. Visionary, higher perspective, effortlessness. Yes. Be a visionary at this time. Whoever you are here on this video, you have been called here because you are a visionary. You see something that others don't. And what most people again fail to remember is that our thoughts create our reality, because our thoughts are what generate our actions. So when you have a clear vision for what it is that you want for your life, when you have a clear vision for what you want the new world to look like, because we are in the transition from the old world to the new world, and we are all taking part in it. But the more people hold the vision for the new earth that creates more love, that allows for more peace, that allows for more harmony, that allows for more connection, that allows for more truth, that allows for more sovereignty, that allows for more freedom, that allows for true connection, that allows for authenticity, rather than all this fake bullshit that we have been living in for so many years. And so when you operate from this higher perspective, and when you hold that vision from the new earth and you let that guide you, as opposed to fear, as opposed to these feelings of survival that are stuck into your nervous system, then things begin to shift. And so we are at the precipice of change. We are moving into a new consciousness. We are moving into a higher perspective. We are being asked to create the castle in the sky where things are effortless. So the next card we have is here I pulled from the Dragon Oracle, asking what is the power that is available to you now with all these astrological planetary movements. What energies are being brought into you? What powers are being activated within you? And so the first card we have here was Earth Dragon. Clears your path and the land around you. Stay grounded. Be ready to serve. Stuck energy is clearing. you can move forward in life. And so just like how I was talking about burning of the land before people start planting again, this essentially is what you are being called to do with this energy. And the cosmic energies are helping you. The cosmic energies are helping you to clear your path. They're helping you to remove energy that has been stuck inside of you for a long time. They're helping you to become aware to parts of you that you didn't even know existed because they were stuck in fear or shame or guilt. Because how many of us feel guilt for things that that we shouldn't even be feeling guilt about? Just like how, those in positions of power are having us believe that we are the problems for this climate change that is happening. And that's absolute fucking bullshit. If the corporations were the ones who would stop polluting en masse and all this bullshit about carbon credits, again, total nonsense. Again, putting all the power in the hands of the elites so that the mass majority of people who actually are not really the cause of all these problems that are happening in the world, we are the ones who have to foot the bill. We are the ones who have to make sacrifices in order to forego the luxuries or just the bare necessities that we need so that the elites of this world can continue running around on their private jets as they go to supposed climate change conferences. I mean, the hypocrisy of it all. And the thing is that we stand by and we think that these things are fine because those people at the top of the pyramid structure have made us believe that we are less than, so that we should not be able to question what they're doing. We should not be able to ask them for accountability. That the reverse psychology that happens when people try and stand up for themselves. But the thing is, we just have to keep fighting. We have to keep forcing them to be accountable. We have to keep showing them that we will not accept this moving forward any longer. And so people who want to continue thinking that they hold no power, remember that this world is built on harvesting energy. And we as human beings are batteries for their system to continue running. But when we stop giving them our energy, then their system begins to crumble. But we have to say no. We will not comply. We will not continue to feed this system that is not helping us in any way, shape, or form. So the next card we have in terms of the gifts that are being granted to you at this time is Emerald Dragon. Brings in healing and cosmic abundance. Good fortune is coming. Let your thoughts support your divine perfection. Align with your fifth dimensional blueprint. Yes, because what is happening at this time is we are elevating in consciousness. We are moving out of 3D consciousness into 5D consciousness. And the difference between 3D and 5D consciousness is that 5D consciousness is about actively playing a role. It's about no longer being a bystander. It's about remembering that you hold great power, that you have the ability to change your reality, but you have to believe it. You have to be able to see that in yourself first and foremost. It is time that you stop believing the bullshit that we are being sold, because this is not serving us in any way, shape, or form. And if you continue buying into the bullshit narratives that are being sold, then we will continue to exist in this soup of chaos. And nobody likes chaos, because the opposite of chaos is what? It's not peace. It's order. And so we are being asked to create order once again, order within ourselves, order within our direct circles, because so many people project outwards. But is there order in your life? Is there order in your family unit? Is there order in your friendship unit? Is there order in your finances? Is there order in your mental space of being? Is there order in your emotional state of being? Is there order in your physical state of being? We're so quick to look externally and blame, but the more we shift what is going on inside of us, the more things around us begin to shift also. So know that you have divine healing and protection happening for you at this time. For those of us who are willing to rise up, there are beings of a higher nature that are supporting us on this journey. So the next cards I pulled from was from the Secrets of the Ancestors. So what did the ancestors have to say? So we have here Father God, radical truth. And the numerology is 7, 7 being one of the most spiritual numbers. It keeps coming back over and over. And in numerology, the 7 represents divinity. It represents spirituality. So here with Father God and radical truth, we are also being reminded that the God that many people have been praising and worshipping is a false God. And this is why radical truth is coming to the surface. If we think about it, religion has dominated this world for so long. Religion has been created to keep people subservient. Religion was created to keep people enslaved by creating all these false ideologies that keep people in fear, thinking if I stand up for myself, I'm going to go to hell. It's the easiest way to control great numbers of people, because our beliefs control our reality. Our beliefs control the way we look at the world. And so all these false narratives that have been shared through these dogmas of religion are beginning to crumble. And so radical truth is coming to the surface. We are starting to see a lot of the truths that have been hidden from us. We are starting to remember that a lot of the things that have been sold to us as being all wonderful and whatever they're supposed to be are not at all what is meant to be. And so we have to awaken to these truths, but truth is very uncomfortable to those who do not like the truth. But truth feels very comfortable to those who feel it deep within their DNA, and truth resides deep within us, all of us. Because remember, we were created in the image of the gods. We were created by the Most High Creator. We were created in absolute perfection. But we have forgotten, because we have consistently been told, you are less than, you do not have what it takes, this and this, blah, 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 blah. But it is time for us to remember. We are being awoken. We are being given the opportunity to remember who we truly are, to remember the truth of this world. So the next card we have is Mother of Air. Beautiful. We have Father God and Mother of Air. Boundaries with the numerology of 8. 8 being the number of power. 8 being the number of the solar plexus. The archetype of the 8 is the powerhouse. It is about being so comfortable within yourself that you do not fear your power. So Mother of Air here with boundaries is you are being reminded that you have the right to stand up for your boundaries. When your boundaries are being crossed, no matter who they are being crossed by, you have the right to stand up for yourself. And the fact here that we have a mother and a child, we're always told, especially within the African context, respect your elders, respect your elders. But respect goes both ways. Just because I am younger than you, the elder, does not mean that you do not have to give me respect. So even when we see the way the elder generation treat the children, at the end of the day, it's funny, especially for here in Kenya, when you hear how the older generation are always putting it on the Gen Z, saying, oh, the Gen Zs need to be the ones to fix it. The younger generations need to be the ones to fix it. But I'm sorry, who were the generations that allowed it to get this bad? It was the older generation. So again, the older generation are not wanting to take responsibility for their fuck-ups, and they want to just push everything onto the younger generation, saying, you have to fix it. You were the cause of the problem. You also need to fix it. We all have a role to play. We all need to start standing up and standing against the system. It is not just for the younger generations. The older generations also hold great wisdom. And the reason that there has been such a separation between the younger and the older generations is because, I'm sorry to say, but most of the older generations treat the younger generations like crap. They think that we have nothing to offer. And that simply is not true. It is about working together. It is realizing that both the older and the younger generation hold different wisdom. And in exchanging that wisdom, new information comes to light. Information that serves each and every one of us. So even as a younger person listening to this, you have every right to express your boundaries to somebody older than you. And you can simply say, no, I will not be treated like this. Not because I am younger do I need to play fiddle to whatever demands you are expecting of me, because it goes both ways. So the next card we have, interestingly, another 8, the unknown, enigma. Yes, we are stepping into the unknown. There is a new earth that is being created. There is a new reality that is being created, but we don't know what it is. But you see, the thing is, again, here with the 8, when we hold power and we know that we are actively creating this new reality that we are moving towards, then we start to be more conscientious of how we are behaving, of the things that we are holding, of what we are projecting into the future timelines, because we are all creating the future reality. But the more of us hold the vision of what we actually desire, as opposed to fearing and accepting this bullshit that we have been living in for so long, then nothing will change. So power lies within our hands. We think that someone external is going to come and save us, but this is simply not true. The savior exists within each and every one of us. We have to first learn to save ourselves, bring order to all the chaos in our life. And once we bring order to all the different aspects of our lives, things begin to just fall into place by themselves. We are being given the opportunity to save ourselves. But again, people want to be followers. People don't want to be leaders. We are all being given the opportunity to lead ourselves. Will you answer that call, or will you continue to be a follower? And last but not least, we have shaman. Trust in higher forces. Yes, because there are higher forces at play. There are much higher forces that are guiding us. For those of us who are actively participating in the creation of the new earth, in the creation of a new reality, a reality that serves the collective, a reality that allows us to expand, and a reality that allows us to be our most authentic self, that celebrates our uniqueness instead of tearing it down. There are higher forces that are available to you, and you are being asked to tap into them. You are being reminded, because nothing I am telling you is new information. You already know this. You have been here before. You have lived many lifetimes here before, and you have been called back here to help through your remembering, the remembering that lies deep within your souls, deep within your DNA, that you hold great power. You hold the power to change this reality. I hope you remember that. I hope you know that. And I hope you feel that deep within your soul. So I hope this message has brought you guidance, brought you insight, brought you whatever it is that will help you continuing on your journey. And in the meantime, I send you much love, much light, much courage as you continue on this path. And I ask that you please share this video with anyone who you think might resonate with this message. Much love to you all, and I'll see you in next week's video. Bye for now.